This is Advanced Math 11.6 Notes Part 2. That's Advanced Math, Unit 11, Lesson 6 Notes Part 2. In Part 1, I went over these three problems, and then I started you with number 4 and said we would finish it in class. And I'm doing it here in this video now. Okay, so this is what was given. I gave you this. I told you it passes to this point. And I don't remember if I gave you this or not, but I'll go over it now. Okay, so we know it's opening up and down, and we know that because the vertices were 1, 2, and 1, -2, and they always open on the vertices. So that's there and there, which means y comes first. Counting your way to the center or using the midpoint, we come up with the center is 1, 0. So y minus 0 squared is y squared, x minus 1, quantity squared. A squared, b squared. How did I get that this is 4? From the center to either vertex is 2 in this case, and that's your up and down is y. B is 2, so 2 squared is 4. All right, how do we do the rest? Now typically we use our c squared equals a squared plus b squared, but they didn't give us our any foci at all in this problem. So what we're going to do is use this point. So what you do is you're going to plug things in. All right, so I'm going to do that here. What was the point that it passed through? 0, √5. So for the y, I'm going to plug in √5. And for x minus 1, I'm going to plug in 0 minus 1, and I have a squared there. √5 squared is 5/4 minus 0 minus 1 squared is 1 over a squared equals 1. And you've done this since middle school, how to clear a fractional equation. You multiply everything by the common denominator. The 4 is going to reduce, leaving behind a 5a squared. Minus the a squared is going to reduce, leaving behind a 4 equals 4a squared. And I am going to subtract 5a squared. -4 equals -a squared. And then I am going to divide both sides by the -1. A squared equals 4. And as tempting as it is to, I'll put that back. As tempting as it is to square root, we don't have to because the a squared is what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to rewrite my answer down here. Y squared over 4 minus the quantity of x minus 1 squared over 4. Sorry, let me get that back up here. Equals 1. Now kids will often freak out like, oh, those two numbers are the same. They're not supposed to be the same unless it's a circle. That is true if that was a plus sign. If this were a plus sign, this would be a circle because those two lengths are the same. But since it's a minus sign, it doesn't matter if these two are the same or different. If it's a minus sign, it's automatically a hyperbola. All right, so that is the answer for number 4. And that is it for this part of notes.